All right, folks, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Ted Jackson with the Disability Organizing Network, and the slide in front of you right now does have an image. It's the DO Network logo. It's in blue, a big D and a big O, and underneath it, it says Disability Organizing Network, and there's an a green square around it. And of course, our website is on there. If you ever have any questions about the DO Network, just go to www.disabilityorganizing.net. So, as I said, my name is Ted Jackson. I'm the Community Organizing Director at California Foundation for Independent Living Centers. And there's also a picture of me on this slide as well. Thank you for joining the Disability Organizing Network today for our webinar, Thinking Outside of the Box, Self-Determination. This is part of our Dialogues in Disability Pride and Culture series. We're really pleased to have folks from the State Council on Developmental Disabilities Statewide Self Advocacy Network with us today. We have a few logos, graphics on this slide. We have a self-determination slide, which is, it says self-determination in the middle, and that's surrounded by a series of kind of like arrows going in a circle, and they're all the different colors of the rainbow. And then we have the Statewide Self Advocacy Network's logo, which is a map of California in blue with a bridge over it, because it's bridging communities. And it says, listen, learn, and lead. And then we have the logo for the State Council on Developmental Disabilities, which is an icon of a stick figure, and then it says SCDD next to it. And I have the pleasure of introducing our first presenter today, Ramon Hernandez, and on this slide there's a picture of Ramon. Ramon, how are you today?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good.
Good, I'm glad to hear it. Well, Ramon, can you tell us a little bit about where you're from and what you do with the Statewide Self Advocacy Network before we get into your presentation?
Yeah. I'm from Detroit, California, and which for those who don't know where it's at, that's in between Los Angeles and Santa Barbara, here in Southern California. And what I do for the Statewide Self Advocacy Network is I go and I speak to all the advocacy groups here in the Metro County area, which is Ventura County, San Luis Obispo County, and Santa Barbara County, and I go in and I see what sort of issues they encounter that they are currently encountering, and then I go and I report it over to the SSAN every 3 months over in Sacramento.
Well, awesome. That's great. So we're going to go ahead and dive into your presentation, Ramon, and here's your first slide. Take it away.
All right, well, I'm going to start. All right, well, what is self-determination? Well, self-determination isn't just believing that you can take control of your own destiny, but it is taking control of your own path. You know, self-determination is a combination of a lot of things, which is to take control of your own path. It takes a lot of combination of things, which is attitudes and abilities, and also setting goals, to be able to take initiative of your own goals and pathways. This means that you're going to make your own choices, and then learning from these choices and fixing any issues. And just being able to take responsibility for your own actions and results and everything else in between. It's about being in charge of yourself. But there's a difference. It's this isn't necessarily that you read by yourself, which may be one of the scariest issues, especially if we're just now becoming more independent, right? Alrighty, well, Teddy, if you could please go to the next slide, please. Alrighty, well, the self-determination program is a creative type of program that is intended to put you in charge of your own life and to receive services that best fit you. In October 2013, Senate Bill 468 added the self-determination program to the Developmental Act. Under the self-determination program, people can get services and supports in a completely new way, giving more choices and more control. Ted, can you please go to the next slide? The law requires that services acquired through self-determination be supported by the federal Medicaid waiver funds. To access these funds, the Department of Developmental Services, or the DDS, has to submit a waiver application by December 31st, 2014 to the Center of Medicaid Services, or the CMS, and which was done. Please, next slide, please.
Oh, she's probably in part 2. She's probably 1.
As of January 28 of 2015, the CMS had up to 90 days to review the California application that was submitted on December 31st, 2014, and as of January 28, 2015, the CMS had raised issues with California application and stopped the review clock. This means that the clock will be started again when the required information had been sent and approved. This meant that it could take longer than 90 days. Can you please next slide?
And I just wanted to point out that on this particular slide, we do have 2 identical images. They're of a button in red, and they say the word update on the button.
As of December 18, 2015, California's revised application could be resubmitted. It had to be posted for 30 days for the public input, which within the initial start of these 30 days of August 7, 2015. California's application was resubmitted on sorry about that. California's application was resubmitted on September 29, 2015, after it was changed to include information from the public input. As of December 18, 2015, CMS had raised additional issues with California's application and stopped the review clock. Please, next slide, please. Thank you. The next steps. California will
just one second. Just 1 second, Ramon. I just wanted to point out that this slide, as well as this next slide that we're going to, has the same image on it. 2 identical images. They're of a button in red with the word update on them. Okay, go ahead, Ramon.
All right. And these are the next steps. California will review and answer the questions that the CMS has with the application. California will repost the newly revised application for 30 days to get public input. California will then resubmit the application again after it's changed to information from public input. Please next slide. And then, this is very important, once the waiver has been approved, up to 2,500 people can be issued into the self-determination program over the next 3 years. 3 years after that acceptance date, the self-determination will be available to all the regional center clients who are eligible for the program. All right?
All right. And on this slide, there's a graphic of a yellow, sort of like a comic magazine bubble, and it says the word important in blue across it with 3 exclamation points. So we're going to stop at this point to see if anyone has any questions for Ramon. Are there any questions out there? So I have one question, and if we don't have another, then we'll go ahead and move along. Ramon, do you know, are there folks who've already expressed an interest in being a part of the self-determination program, and who might they be?
Yes. There's been a lot of self-advocates that I've come across, and there's in these meetings that I go across the Tri-County area who have expressed interest. I mean, a lot of these individuals have told me that, or expressed to me that there's a lot of services that they wish they could get, and so it's the feedback for this type of program to be available to everybody has really been great, and you know, because as we ourselves only know the details of what type of services we actually need to be able to live, to go on with our daily lives. So yeah, the need for the general consensus is very this is very exciting, and it's really needed. But I said a lot of these individuals have been self-advocate. So yes. Mm-hmm.
That's great. Well, thank you very much, Ramon.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna, awesome. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Julie Guyona. On this slide here, there's a picture of Julie. And I first met Julie when she was working with the advocacy team at Cal Life. And that is the Independent Living Center down in downtown Los Angeles. And then was really happy to see her again when she joined the Statewide Self Advocacy Network. How are you today, Julie?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good, good. Well, thank you for joining us. I'm going to go ahead and turn to the next slide, and you can go ahead and get started.
Okay. My name is Julie Guyona. I'm an SCDD board member of the Los Angeles office, and I'm here today to talk about the 5 principles that there is when it comes to self-determination. The first one is that you have a choice to make, to choose if you want self-determination or not, and the reason how it impacts your life to make your life more independent. The second one is authority, to take charge of what you need with your life to make it more successful and independent with what with what makes your life easier and what you're entitled to, whether it be going to school, getting services for your carrier supported living services, getting help with equipment for a job, things like that, taking charge and making your own decisions. It's authority. And then the third one is choosing your own supports. If you feel that you need people to help you achieve this goal or maintain these goals in your life, such as a family member, a friend, a regional center counselor, if you choose to, anybody that supports you in your decisions, maybe helps you find colleges, resources for financial aid, or things that you may need. That is, and then the one after that is the responsibility that you have to take on, the responsibility to have self-determination for number one. And you have to report all the funding that you are getting from the state government on why you need the funding, and also be very specific on what you use it for and why you use it, because they need to know what's the whole purpose. And then the last one is confirmation. Confirmation is that you know that, okay, I've done this, I'm doing it. It's confirmed that I'm aware of everything that I need to do. To make my own choices, to take authority of my own life, and make sure that I am responsible for my own self.
Hi, Julie. So we had some images on here. Do you mind if I go back a few slides and just describe the image with folks?
Yeah.
Great. Thank you. That was really, really good. Let me just see here. Okay, so on the first of the 5 principles of self-determination, which was freedom, there's an image of someone standing on a mountaintop with their arms outstretched. There are rays of sunlight behind them, and underneath it says the word freedom. The next of the 5 principles of self-determination was authority, and there's a gavel, and on top of the pounding pad, the gavel hits. It says the word authority. The next of the 5 principles is support, and the image is a group of people who have all put their hands one on top of one another, reaching in with their arms. And so it kind of looks like it's a shot from overhead, so it kind of looks like the spokes of a bicycle wheel with their arms. And the next of 5 principles is responsibility. And this slide has a picture of 6 birds on a branch with a green background, and behind them or above them it says the word responsibility. And then the last of the 5 principles of self-determination is confirmation. And this is a picture of a lake. You see the blue water and the green tree in the background and the sky, and it says the word "you are important." Well, thank you very much, Julie. Is there, does anyone have any questions for Julie? Great. Well, thanks for joining us today. Now I'm going to have the pleasure of introducing Cheryl Hewitt, who is the chairperson of the Statewide Self Advocacy Network. Cheryl, how are you today?
Hi, how are you?
Great. So Cheryl, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from and how you interact with the Statewide Self Advocacy Network?
I'm from San Jose, and I have worked with self-advocates throughout the country. I originally started in Michigan, and I've been to many adaptations. And I love to give a voice to I love to have a voice for people that don't have a voice.
That's wonderful. All right, so let's go ahead and jump in. And I'm going to move us along to your first slide here. And I'll just remind you to please, when you're finished with the slide, please tell me the next slide, and I'll move it to the next slide.
Okay. In 1998, self-determination pilot program was established in California. In 2001, the pilot program reported a high level of satisfaction among the state satisfaction and recommended the state expanded. 3 governors and 13 years later, Bill 468 was passed, making self-determination a reality. Next slide. So, who can receive self-determination? Anyone who receives services from a regional center is eligible for self-determination services. The exemption is anyone who is living in a developmental center or a intermediate care center. If, however, they are in the process of moving in the community, then they are eligible for self-determination services. To receive self-determination services, you are required to attend an orientation, receive training on how self-determination works, and agree to work with a fiscal manager. As I go further in my slides, I'll explain a little bit more in depth, but right now, DDS has not put forth the official regs yet. Next slide. you is involved. You, the person, are the leader. The facilitator is a person you want to help you, but it's important to realize that if you don't want a facilitator, you don't have to have one. It's all self-determination is all directed by you. You do have to have, however, a financial manager that handles the money. This person does not tell you how to spend the money. He tells you how much money you have in your budget, and you figure out if you can afford the service that you want at the rate they're charging. Your friends and family has paid support. Next slide. A facilitator helps the person with a person-centered plan help maintain an individualized budget, help the person develop a network of support, and be part of their community, help find providers and negotiate rates, hours of service, and working agreements that make sure the providers are living up to the agreements they've made, help work out issues with providers, help a person and those around them or her to honor and live by the life, by the principle of self-determination. You pay your facilitator out of your budget, but you don't have to hire a facilitator. It's all up to you. Next slide. A financial management service you must use the financial management service in self-determination. Receive funds allocated for you in your budget and make payments to your service providers. Keep track of providers and backup documentation, maintain financial records, take care of taxes, workman's comp, liability insurance, and make sure that your provider's legal requirements are met, i.e. licenses and certifications. The evidence does not make decisions on how your money is spent. Next slide. Next slide. I'm sorry. How it works. The amount of your individualized budget is based on how much the leader Your budget pays for the evidence facilitator. You help with the help of people that you trust. You develop a person-centered plan that reflects your vision in different areas of your life and set goals. Next slide. How it works. Ask for self-determination, agree to follow the rules, and live within your individualized budget. Hire a facilitator if you want. Hire a financial manager with the help of people you trust. Develop a person-centered plan that reflects your vision in different areas of your life and set goals. Give your the person-centered plan that reflects your vision and vision in different areas of your life and set goals. Give your person-centered plan and ID to your FNS after background checks are completed. Your FNS starts paying the person you hired. The law allows regional centers to develop their own procedures for signing up people. Next slide. The difference between traditional services and self-determination services. In the traditional service model, you have to present a goal to your service coordinator. They see if it fits in your plan, then if they don't agree with what you want, then they take it and you have to appeal the decision. You have to get doctor's notes, and it could take 3 weeks or it could take 6 months before you get a denial letter or the process goes through. In a person-centered plan, if you want to go to a gym or buy a piece of equipment, have the documentation you need, can prove it fits in with your goals and your person-centered plan, you can negotiate the hours and rates with the gym directly, and then your FNS will determine if your FNS then because you could have this service probably in 1 to 2 weeks, where in a traditional service, you could wait 3 to 6 months or be denied completely and never get the service you're requesting. Next slide. Self-determination is with their IEP. Having self-determination in your IEP won't guarantee that you'll get it as soon as it's available, but it should improve your chances. Learn as much as you care about self-determination. Attend trainings, read about self-determination, and share what you know about self-determination with others who might be interested. Next slide. There are places you can get more information on self-determination. The Department of Developmental Services has on their website, they have an email that you can subscribe to that they will send you updates about when the self-determination program will become available. So all you need to do is sign up for DVSCA.gov. Disability Rights California, the Center for Self-Determination, and Senate Bill for 68. Next slide. Are there any questions?
So we do have a question from Shannon, and she raised her hand. Shannon, do you want to go ahead and ask your question? You can unmute your phone by pressing *6.
Thank you, Ted. Hi, Cheryl. I had a question with regards to clarification. Back on the slide about who can get self-determination, I was wondering if you could clarify, can an individual who is living within a community care facility or an adult residential facility, are they eligible for self-determination?
An adult residential, well, it wouldn't be, the only restriction is a person living in, say, a place like Agnes used to be.
An SDC?
Yes, or an intermediate care facility, more like a nursing home.
So either like an ICF or a skilled nursing facility or a state developmental center are the only restrictions, not a community care licensed facility or an adult residential facility in the community. That's okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Cheryl, for that clarification. I greatly appreciate it.
Okay.
Great. Are there any more questions?
Hi there. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I have a question. Hello?
Yep. I think there was one person before you. Is there someone else?
Okay.
Hi. Yeah. Sorry. Can you hear me, Fran Goodwin?
Yes. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. Yeah, I had 3 questions. Can I ask them all?
Yeah. We have time, and then we'll go to the gentleman.
Okay. So the first one was the fiscal management service, Cheryl. Where do you find this service company? Are they like a for-profit firm, and how much from my budget do I have to pay them?
To be honest, the state self-determination committee has not put down all the leg yet because we're waiting for the waiver to go through. But it's not clear yet about how much of your budget you will have to put down for the FNS. But we will be doing more webinars as those criteria become clearer.
Okay, thank you. And then my second question was kind of similar in the facilitator. I know you don't have to have one, but if a person really needs one because they don't have the ability to self-advocate, where would you find this facilitator? Because they obviously need some training in like doing a budget and person-centered planning and things. Where would you find that person? And again, the question you probably can't answer yet is how much does it cost? Because both of those things you kind of have to take out of your budget before you can know how much you've got to spend on the service that you're looking at.
Well, there are facilitators that are available because a lot of them work in a pilot project. When the self-determination comes out as a full program, I'm sure that DBS will have a listing of facilitators, agencies. You'll have to negotiate with the facilitator on their fee.
Okay.
I realize that this seems like a lot of work, and it is a lot of work. I grew up in Michigan, and Michigan was one of the first states that had self-determination. And sometimes I really pull my hair out because I was basically taking control of everything, but the satisfaction I got was that I took control of it. If I screwed up, it was my fault, and I fixed it. And I didn't have to wait 6 years for the regional center to fix anything for me. But I'll admit that this is a lot of work. And if you want a quality of life where you are truly in charge of what you want, this is the way to go. But you have to be willing to have some give and take also, but it's give and take without the middleman, I like to say.
Okay, thank you so much for that answer. And then the last question, sorry, this is the last question. So what would happen, say, if I've got my provider lined up, I've done everything, and it's all going well, but then the provider increases the rates, like, and my budget then doesn't cover the increase? Will the provider, so, and also then can the provider do they have the rights to kind of have two rates, you know, like one for people with self-determination and one for regional center?
I'm not sure they have the right to do that.
Well, can they be stopped from doing it so that, you know, so there's not this two-tier system? So I picture self-determination, but I'm kind of having to pay more for the privilege of doing that versus I'm getting the same service than somebody from going through STARC.
Self-determination is not designed to make the agencies more money. It's designed to cut the budget for the regional centers because it does, if you negotiate a rate, it would be much lower. If you negotiated a rate with somebody, it would be in your comfortability. It wouldn't be just what the regional center paid. I can't say it wouldn't happen, because we all know that in this system there will be some glitches, but if you're worried about that, you can put in your contract that the agency cannot raise their rates for the first 2 years.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Any more questions?
I have a question. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
What exactly is self-determination?
Self-determination is just what it says. It's you determining what kind of services you want to receive from your IPP. You're showing them how you want to reach your goals and who you want to help you reach your goals. And then you're finding agencies of your choice that can help you reach your goals. And that way you're taking responsibility for your own life and knowing that whoever you choose to help you reach your goals has your best interest at heart.
Thank you. Then what's ITT or whatever those initials were?
Individualized program plan.
Thank you. And then, so there's an agency we go through for this, or a regional center? It sounds like it. If so, what is that? Is that our independent living center where we are?
No, what you need to do is contact your regional center and tell your case manager you want to put your name on the list to possibly receive self-determination determination services.
Okay, so I did this.
When the waiver goes through, there'll be another pilot program like there was in 1998, and your name could be put on the list to possibly be picked for the pilot program, and also when it's opened up for everybody in California, which will be about 2 years after the pilot program is completed, then your name can still be put on the list in self-determination services.
Thank you. And then, so how do I know what my regional center is and who my case manager is? I'm in Silicon Valley, if that helps.
Your regional center is San Andreas Regional Center. It's in Campbell.
Thank you.
If you leave your name and number, I can give you more information if you would like.
Yes, please. I would like
if you email me, the moderator, this is Ted Jackson, I can put you in touch with Cheryl. And my email is Ted. I'm going to give you my email right now. It's Ted, that's T as in Tom, E as in Edward, D as in David, at CFILC. That's C as in Charlie, F as in Frank, I as in Independent, L as in Living, C as in Charlie, .org. O-R-G.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm sorry for my joining. So it's Ted.
That's okay.
You said CFILC.org?
Yep, you got it.
Thank you.
And I'll put you in touch with Cheryl. Are there any other folks who have questions today? Well, I want to thank everyone for joining us today, and I want to thank our 3 presenters. This was really an awesome opportunity to look at some new opportunities that are coming our way in the disability community that I think are going to, lead towards greater independence for many people. All right, thank you very much, and we are finished for the day.
Thank you.
Thank you.